All right, let's dive into the hilarious, anxiety-ridden world of Greg Heffley, shall we? Today, we're tackling a problem we've probably all faced, the absolute disaster that a birthday party can be. And our guide through all this chaos is, of course, Greg Heffley himself. He is back with a brand new book, Partypooper, and this time, he's taking on the challenge of planning his own birthday. And if we know anything about Greg, it's gonna be anything but a smooth ride. So, let me ask you, what's the single worst part of a birthday? For most of us, that might be a tough question. But for Greg Heffley, the answer is, well, pretty much all of it. And he has some very, let's call them unique theories about why. Okay, let's get into this because according to Greg, our modern obsession with birthdays is a relatively new and very, very loud invention. He's got his own version of history, and it all starts in what he likes to call ancient times. As you can see from his historical illustration here, life was just simpler back then. People, or, Vikings in this case, were just doing their thing. No one knew how old they were, and honestly, no one cared. It was probably, in his words, pretty crazy for a while, but it was blissfully free of parties. But then, according to the official Heffley historical record, everything changed. One day, some guy just stood up and had this revolutionary and, let's be real, incredibly selfish idea. He decided he had an announcement for the whole village. And there it is, the birth of the birthday. Not as some quiet celebration of life, nope. It was a demand for gifts. And just like that, a terrible tradition was born, leading to all kinds of themed parties and, eventually, a whole lot of social obligations. And it's those obligations that really get to Greg. Which brings us to one of his biggest modern-day pet peeves, the thank you card, a piece of paper that he sees as nothing more than a complete and total trap. I mean, this is just classic Greg Heffley logic, right? It's not just the writing, it's the stamps, it's the envelopes, it's the sheer effort of it all. He sees it as a totally inefficient system. And Greg, he thinks he has a much better one. And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. On the left, you've got the social pressure machine in full swing, a little concerned note from Aunt Dorothy. And on the right, Greg's master plan for maximum efficiency. Just one single, loud, public thank you to cover everybody at once. Problem solved, right? Wrong. His brilliant plan gets shot down immediately by his mom, using the ultimate parental justification: tradition. Or more specifically, keeping the older generation happy. And just like that, Greg's quest for peak efficiency is foiled yet again. But, it's not just the social chores that bother Greg. This all builds into something much, much bigger. Underneath all the complaints about parties and cards is a genuine, if maybe slightly ridiculous, fear of getting older. This drawing just perfectly captures where his head is at. He's watching TV commercials, right? But not for toys or video games. He's seeing ads for things like age spots, and he starts to panic. He actually convinces himself that he's aging prematurely and that he has to do something about it. Which leads to this truly incredible moment. Greg starts secretly using his mom's anti-aging cream every single night, trying to stay ahead of the curve. It's a solid plan, of course, until his dad walks in on him and he gets totally busted. So much for that. And this right here, this is the thought that's really at the heart of it all. It's actually surprisingly deep for a kid who just tried to shout his thank yous. For Greg, birthdays aren't just a party. They're a ticking clock, a constant reminder of time running out. Pretty heavy stuff for a middle schooler. So with all this history, this anxiety, this frustration just building up, what's a wimpy kid supposed to do? Well, he decides to take matters into his own hands and throw the ultimate birthday party himself. But before we see how that turns out, let's just put this whole series into perspective. Take a look at this massive number. That's how many people have been following Greg's journey so far. That's right, over 300 million books sold worldwide. This isn't just a diary, you guys, it's a global phenomenon. And now that phenomenon is hitting its huge landmark 20th book. So here it is. In the landmark 20th book, Partypooper, Greg is finally in charge. He's planning his own party, his way. No more thank you card traps, no more weird themes from his mom, just pure, unadulterated, Greg-approved fun. What could possibly go wrong? Well, according to the official report, pretty much everything. The guest list is gonna spiral out of control, the decorations are a total flop, there are surprises that backfire, the cake is a catastrophe, and of course, you gotta have a healthy dose of family chaos. It's going to be a total blowout, just not the kind he planned. So that leaves us with the ultimate question. After all his theories, all his planning, do you think Greg Heffley will finally pull off the perfect birthday party? Or is he just destined to be the ultimate party pooper?
I guess the only way to find out is to grab the book yourself. And hey, the link to this book is in the video description.